take me back to the place where I first saw the most beautiful face, to the town of Fletcher's Cove Beach. Take me back, oh take me back, take me back 5 damn years to before my tongue gave you your tears. And take my hand, place it on your cheek. Take me back, oh take me back. Take me back, let me right my wrongs. Show my mark, how the sun can grow. It was just the moon blotting out the light. Take me back, oh take me back. Take me back, get me out of my head, to my heart and back to the land, back to the sand where it all began. Take me back, oh take me back.
Okay, folks, our first performer tonight is Kyrie.
My name is spelled Kyrie, but it's actually said Kyre, K-Y-R-E. So thank you guys for having me. This is my first time since 9th grade doing slam poetry, and it feels really great. I used to do plays here when I was a kid, so really cool to be back on stage. This poem is called The Privilege of Growing Up in a Home. What makes a house a home? Is it being able to roam while having that safe zone in the back of your mind? Or is it the feeling you get after being gone all summer and seeing those close markers making you feel warm and nurtured? Is it the countless family photos lining every inch of wall space, the smell at dinner time, fruit trees in the yard, foliage? Or is it something that we can't describe? Homes are alive. Homes bring pride. They have an energy. Being home can make you feel complete. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. On the other hand, a house can feel empty. No matter how much you fill it, a house is but a box, but the people inside make a home.
And now our second poet is Colleen.
I created this poem last Saturday from a poetry workshop Mart Anderson facilitates at the Encinitas Library. Twice a month, on the second and fourth Saturday, free for all, we meet. Mart provides prompts. Last week it came from Poem a Day, titled Short Talk on Pain. More like a short essay, it referenced green lawns, fields and hills, battles fought on greens, frozen green peas for pain and more. Mart guides us. Use a word, a phrase, anything evoked from the writing, or just wing it if nothing comes up. I scripted quickly from my history, check can of peas. Check can of peas. Sounds silly. Seriously, back in 1983, we trained professionally. First order of business, don't buy the farm. First checklist rule, Air Force Survival School. Repetitively, check can of peas. Aircraft failing, time for bailing out. Decision split sec, a half second late, call your fate. The difference between dying or surviving. Stress off the charts. No one else knows except those who fly fighter jets. Where's the horizon? Upside down, right side up, loss of control, losing altitude, punch out. Body, spine, head, and neck erect. Tucking elbows, legs, and knees, or else flailing injury. Pull those handles, eject, eject, eject. Rocket boosters under your seat blast you into infinity. A freight train hits you, so to speak. System works automatically. Buckles release, seat falls away, chute deploys fluttering, floating over falling aircraft. Look up, check can of peas. In other words, check your parachute canopy. A nice full circle, no malfunction, did it open fully? Suspension lines sometimes cross over. Pull out hook blade knife, tied into flight suit pocket. Second rule implore, cut the line no more than 4. Brace for impact, parachute landing fall. Tuck your feet, bend your knees, side of leg, hip below the shoulder on your back. A mind in shock remembers the jingle, a melody, check can of peas. Check can of peas. Aircrew training continuously. Fighter pilots rattle off in their sleep because of me. I taught them all witty call signs assigned humorously, irreverently. Hurricane, holiness, hi-ho, Gucci. Just last Thursday, August 2023, almost midnight, Miramar. Call sign, Simple Jack, bought the farm. Did not eject, rode it into the ground, or maybe it was the other way around. Nonetheless, no opportunity, check can of peas.
Next, we have Gail. Give it up for Gail.
9 black robes, chosen by others, not us. Those 9 have voted to control our sacred wombs. Our wombs, yours, mine, but not theirs. They swiftly lowered their sword upon our sacred souls. Those 9, they taste their victory, and with our blood on their hands, they enter the sacrificial bathroom to wash away the guilt of this day. My body shakes visibly at the thought of this decision. Eyes open wide in horrified disbelief. The shock is profound and devastating. There is no cure, no pill for this anger. The outrage will live on and within. But still, we cook and we clean and we bear witness to the birth of another rape. Once again, we must march to seek a place that truly sees us, treats us with dignity, without prejudice, recognizes and respects our rights as whole women. Rape us again and again and again. 9 black robes, give us our goddamn rights.
So Brad is our next poet.
Studies have shown it gives your brain a rush to see something supporting your existing beliefs. I have social media friends on the left and the right, all going daily to their favorite political sites to reinforce their bias and feel so pious when they post with pride as they deride the other side with unflattering photos. You know how that goes. Plus clips and news that support their views. Some of it's not even true, just allegations, insinuations, accusations, vilifications, or total fabrications. They get a temporary feeling of elation, but the result is polarization and alienation. See, tunnel vision and derision increase the division between left and right, making things more black and white, more day and night, creating more heat than light. They all think they're so right because they seek out things they already like. But these sites on the left and the right are myopic, spinning, telling, selling only one side of complex topics. With labels and slogans, they generalize, oversimplify, even lie as they try to solidify their positions. That's their mission. Then you, my friends, try to achieve your ends by choosing and using only these one-sided opinions. Left and right, you're ripping our country apart. Look, opinions one-sided are usually misguided, not facts. Besides, there are two sides to every story. We don't know what we don't know, so we should go slow when we post, taunt, and demand what we want. The devil's in the details. Many problems don't have simple solutions. So at home tonight, visit some moderate and political debate websites. Watch people pick up the issues, turn them around, upside down, spin them left, spin them right until everyone gains new insights. When you're ready, go across the aisle. Join the other team for a while at their news sources. When you do, don't look for what's wrong. Look for what's true. Try to see their point of view. Through their eyes, you'll learn to compromise. Left is here, right is there. It's not smart to stay apart because the heart, the brain, and the answers, a product of reason with a dash of compassion, are near the center. It's okay to be a debater who tries to make black and white issues grayer, but please, not a hater. Think only about the greater good. Left and right, let's not be rigid. Let's build bridges to the other side.
We are ready for poet number 5 is Jim B.
Hi. You know the song. She'll have fun, fun, fun until her daddy takes the T-bird away. This is a note to fathers. On the way home from grocery shopping, the two of you listen to a radio song about daddy taking the T-bird away. And your daughter asks, how long did she have to wait for the car's return? She's serious. The lyrics contain no answers, and no sequel exists. She saw you grin. She tells you, never mind, it doesn't matter, as she pulls the sweater's sleeves over her fingers, 2 fists clutch soft material. You think it's funny, she asks? You reply, no. It's more ironic than funny. Remember, it's a made-up component in an old song, not intended to describe an actual scenario. How do you know it's fictional, she asks. You blink, and 7 years later, you wonder if that old song has anything to do with her lack of interest in a driver's license. And there's really nothing you can do about it when her first perfect boyfriend buys her cute gifts without waiting for special occasions. A necklace with small locket, bracelets made with string and colorful beads, a snow globe containing Snoopy napping on his doghouse roof, 2 framed concert tickets he won because he was caller number 5. She talks about how sweet he is, and combined with the adorable presents you suspect, she's convinced herself she doesn't need you. Lacking a car she claims she does not need or want, she knows she owns nothing of significance to take away for having fun, 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 or fun, fun, fun. You want to tell her to be careful. And whether you do or not, when the boy meanders out of her life in favor of a cheerleader, you want to make suggestions about what to do with her collections of his sweet little gifts. You hope she's resilient enough to overcome disillusionment and the conspiracy which connects objects and memories and their subtle but persistent attempts to demolish a heart.
Next, we have B. Daniel March.
Good evening, Encinitas. This is entitled These Days. Robots and nuclear war right outside your front door. Triumphs dressed in victories. Losses hidden from plain sights. Advancing technological wonders spilling out in every corner of our world. Reddened turf, proof of concepts gone terribly wrong. Countdowns to midnight measured before the final dawn. Depressions, recessions, launched as economies crumble.
Hey, that was
No telling when nor why. Somber cultures
And
retreat
Judge number one.
from former highs.
8. Judge number
Robots
2.
and nuclear war,
8.
dressed up and ready.
Judge number 3.
Two opposites
7. Judge
prepared
number
for
4.
more. Thank you.
8 and judge number 5. Okay, thank you.
Next up, we have Margot.
The father-daughter dance. I was 7 years old the first time I remember feeling beautiful. I'm looking at myself in the mirror. My hair that has been kept short most of my life has finally grown out and is partly tied back by a silk ribbon bow that matches the pink dress that I'm wearing. My mother has dabbed a touch of rouge on my lips and cheeks, and she has sprayed my neck and wrist with her perfume. I feel terribly grown up, and I can't stop staring at myself. This dress is the prettiest thing I've ever owned, and I love it. I love the white flower pattern and the pink lace on the bottom. I love how the rouge looks on my lips and cheeks and that it brings out the green in my eyes. I love the ribbon in my hair that is finally long enough to be tied back. Tonight, my dad is taking me to the father-daughter dance at school. At this point, I don't really know my father. He works late and goes on business trips often, but he likes to buy my sister and I books whenever he can. The ones about dinosaurs and pirates and mermaids that hold secret letters and treasure maps like he believes we might need them one day. My father wears a suit and we buy donuts on the way to the dance. He is careful not to get any powder on himself, and I copy the way he carefully eats. He doesn't tell me not to tell Mom about this, but he doesn't need to because I know she wouldn't approve. The auditorium is poorly decorated and filled with other little girls in pretty dresses and their dads. There's a raffle, but Dad and I don't win anything. Later that night, I put my tiny feet on his big ones, and we dance until it's time to go home. I probably would have fought to keep the dress on longer had I known by the time I would have an occasion to wear it again, I would have grown out of it. I think I must have cried when the zipper wouldn't close. Had I known my body would continue to grow as I slept, I would have stayed up all night, asking my dad to let me dance on his feet just one last time before I got too big for that too. But I didn't. I peeled the dress off carefully and hung it in my closet, still smelling of my mother's perfume. I went to bed blissfully unaware of all the ways my body would one day betray me by becoming too woman to think of myself as beautiful without first pointing out all the things I'd like to change about myself first. Too woman to fit into the dresses I know would make me feel beautiful if only I were smaller. I don't know when I became too much for this body, but I remember when I was enough for myself, however brief, however long ago. I think surely that little girl must still be inside of me somewhere, still pleased with the way her green eyes look when she's staring back at me, still wearing her mother's perfume and still dancing with her dad, even if it's not on his feet. Thank you.
Okay, next poet up is Alicia.
If I'm wearing a dress, how do you address me? The world's changed. I know it's strange. If I'm wearing a dress, do you address me as a she? It's personal choice. Some conform, others go free form, but leave your opinions unformed on something that's personal to me. When I wear a dress, I want to be addressed by the pronouns I have chosen, not by your opinions or your prejudices, not by your political slants or your sideways glance, again judging me when all I'm trying to do is my best. When I wear a dress, I want to be addressed. When I wear a dress, I invest in myself, the respect I deserve as the gender I'm meant to be. Does that make you less free? Because in America, if I impinge on your freedom, that might be a crime. Yet here in my dress, I'm the oppressed, not you. Is this about the bathrooms? Because your mind will be blown if you've ever flown. You've been using gender-neutral bathrooms for ages, and yet you rage. Does that drop your jaw? Here's the flaw. When I gotta pee, I'm not really free to decide where I go. I freeze in my tracks, and I do all the math. And I have to fear wrath just to do a simple biological task. I build up my gumption and head for a stall. Did I make the right call? Will this choice be my fall? Because you have the gall to ridicule me every time I go pee? How will you address me when I'm wearing a dress? As I watch loving families torn apart by those who hate and make trans kids words of state, while their legislative slate lacks a legitimate debate. Only mongering dark fears, tuned to fascist-leaning ears, harking back the good old years when racism, homophobia, and misogyny were accepted white male standards. How should you address me when I'm wearing a dress? How about with respect that my gender care does not need to be snared in the crossfire of politics? In a nation obsessed with vanity, it's utter insanity that some want to restrict plastic surgery only for trans young adults. Here's their claim. The undeveloped brain of those under 25 can't possibly decide what's best for themselves. But a bro in IG is perfectly free to get all surgery just to reinvent himself. For us, it's not being vain. It's living daily in pain with nothing more to gain than a bit less dysphoria. Yet Susie Q on TikTok can increase the size of her flock, and no senator will block her right to big tits and euphoria. So when you take our kids and then block our care, you create further despair, make life harder to bear, which is gross and unfair to a group that's prone to suicide.
Okay, next we have Baz McIntosh.
Woo, that's bright. Hi. This started out as a song, so it's got a musical lilt to it, hopefully. And this is my first time that I've ever done a slam, and I don't remember 9th grade. It's too far away. So maybe I did it in 9th grade. So be gentle. And this is based on truth, with a little exaggeration. And it's called Illegal Strip Search. You may only be a jaywalker, or maybe a candy stealer. You think yourself small change, but they're seeing a drug dealer. Yeah, they're seeing a drug dealer. Someone who's going to blow them away, so they're securing the scene. They're covering all the bases, if you know what I mean. Yeah, you know what I mean. You're just a little old lady whose gas bill hasn't been paid, who set your house on fire on a non-burn day. Yeah, it's a non-burn day. Now they're hauling your ass downtown with a hand on their gun, waiting for you to make a break for it. Become enemy number one. Enemy number one. Yeah, it's an illegal strip search. Don't leave nothing on. I know you're so innocent and you ain't done nothing wrong. It's an illegal strip search. No, you cannot go home. Leave your clothes in the corner. Now you're just skin and bone. I'd really like to help you, officer. I'm really an okay guy. And all I did was jaywalk, but I'm very, very shy. I really don't need these manacles. I think that it's really a farce, that my pants are around my ankles and there's a flashlight up my arse. With years on the beat, you see the devil in everyone's eyes, so even the late payer is a terrorist in disguise. A terrorist in disguise. It's a tough job and a tough life, and you're surrounded by the sad, but it's really worth remembering that most of us ain't so bad. Yeah, most of us ain't so bad. Yeah, it's an illegal strip search. Don't leave nothing on. I know you're so innocent, and you ain't done nothing wrong. Yeah, it's an illegal strip search. No, you cannot go home. Leave your clothes in the corner. Now you're just skin and bone.
All right, folks, we have 2 more performers, and the next is Leah.
Hello, I'm Leah. There's an explanation of why I sound like this, but I'm not going to give it. In March, a bird moved into my neighborhood that starts tweeting like a fire alarm, low battery alert every morning at 5 a.m., and it is still there as of today. So I was at Jazz at Panama 66, and this poem happened because I was tired. Here is a poem I might not want to read while the mayor is here. Oh well, too late. This is, sometimes life is a losing game until you tell it to go fuck itself. Some days you wake up and you know it's a bad hair day, and somehow you know that and you haven't even showered yet. The way you know the coffee is going to taste like shit before you even pour the grounds into the basket. The way you know you're going to spill the creamer before you've washed the mug. And none of that matters because the sun is shining somewhere up above the clouds that really shouldn't still be the definition of the weather at the point of May in Southern California. And that's okay because the birds are not singing here because the California towhee that lives in my neighborhood is very aggressive and is chasing all the nice sounding birds out. And that's okay, because my car is only making a scary rumbling noise when I stop at stoplights and use the regular foot pedal brake instead of the emergency brake. And the grocery store keeps running out of vegetable medley, and that's okay. I have not slept 4 hours consecutively since the bird moved into my neighborhood, and that's okay. I'm learning what it's like to taste sleep like water after the playground when you ignored the teacher's instructions to get the water before you played, because fuck listening to teacher, although you're not supposed to know that word, so my lips are sealed. Lately, I've been telling God maybe I could be a parent one day, and I think now she's training me like an, oh really, well let's give it a try on level 1. Stoplights are conspiring against me. They're all red when I'm late. They're all green when I'm early, so I don't have an excuse to notice freeway exit late poetry and speak it into my phone, to risk cell phone use while driving tickets, and that's okay. Life has had some serious goddamn balls fucking with me the way it has been lately. I have got to say, like, bitch, you're allowed to pick what fights you want, but fuck around and find out, as the kids say. This is Jazz. For telling life you ain't taking it's shit like no lemons. I'm showing you my sour side. We're changing the narrative. There is no citrus. Citrus is for the breakfast table, and I'm hungry for dinner now. Stop holding back. The kitchen's been telling me my meal is almost ready for an hour now. I'm tired of waiting. Something everyone knows is that bullies push you around until you show them you're not fucking around, and isn't it about that time? Thank you.
Up is our final poet for the first round, Ross McKendrick.
I will find you a mountain. We're old now. I've been to the top of too many mountains. I had to stop. But your 2 sane feet on the ground, while mine up there crunched across rock in that thin cold air, through wind and eerie silence, until I made the summit. But you who kept the world spinning as the rest of us reached for the sky, you don't know about that, do you? And you should. You wanted to way back then, didn't you? How did I not see? How did I not ask? How did I not notice your soul turning into the ice that only descent from a summit can thaw? You're crazy, I told you. It's a younger man's play. And you said, I'll never be younger than I am today. So I'll find you a mountain our size, where winds bite the face as we climb at sunrise. When you step on the summit, I'll be down that road. You deserve this, my friend, a reward for your hope.
We have our final poet is actually Mark Wilson.
Howdy, my name is Mike, actually, but no words. This place is weird. Anyway, this is Encinitas, so I'm from Oceanside. I'm gonna do a poem about growing up in Oceanside, and it's not like any of those. It's nursery school, so here it goes. It's short. You'll throw your life away. That's what my mom would say. when I hung out with my friends and surfed day after day. So I hung out with my friends and I surfed my days away. I played my life away. Compared to you, I'd do it again. You worked your life away. You've got your big house and your shiny new car. I share a room and ride my bike and save pennies in a jar. But the memories I have won't fit in any jar. And I wouldn't trade a single one for your house or your new car.
Okay, so that is our first round.
And we're going to start the second round now. And our first one will be Brad for round 2.
This is for everybody who wakes up in the middle of the night and thinks about stuff. I see a few people identify. It's called Vampire Thoughts. They only come out at night. Daytime, busy, grabs me by the ankles, twirls me like a lasso, cracks me like a whip to keep worry at bay all day. You might say, busy is bliss. No time to think, no time to worry. Meanwhile, vampire thoughts lie still in their mental coffins, waiting for the cool darkness of night to steal a light from my eyes so they can lift their heavy lids as mine falls softly shut. Leap out, inject their insidious incisors, suck away my sleep, and toss my helpless body side to side as they chant these dreadful words. Afghanistan, Taliban, Kim Jong-un, nuclear fun, Russian invasion, refugee migration, endless bombs, grieving moms, Putin, gluten, crabgrass, car needs gas, old age, road rage, carjacking, Will Smith attacking, COVID contagion, no vacation, mandates, interest rates, inflation, taxation, national debt, China threat, absentee dads, pop-up ads, teenage sexting, driving while texting, loss of hearing, genital piercing. Divisive tweeting, global heating, missing bees, rising seas, brown air, goodbye polar bear, new COVID strain. We had a hurricane. Sunrise sends these scurrilous sleepsuckers scurrying back to their silk-lined slumber while the beautiful bliss of busy begins to beguile me again.
All right, next up in round 2, we have Alicia, and after Alicia, we have Mike.
My Father, who art in heaven, I absolve you, but why did you befriend him? You couldn't have known. Predators preyed. Holy Father, who art in heaven, I revere you, but why did you create them? Evil to the bone. Predators prey. They also pray, invoking your name, but it's all a game. Just wanted to fame while young lives get maimed, because predators prey. My Father, I just wanted to protect you. You couldn't have known how predators prey, but that doesn't stop me going back to the day when the two of you met, his evil plan set. If I could be in that room, see him starting to groom you, this man who knew nothing but love, or his heart on his sleeve, who would never believe another human would thieve his younger son's childhood. But predators prey. Yes, predators prey, and what would I say to push you away from his presence? Would I tell you he'll plague me all of my life? Come to me between everything, even me and my wife? Try to enter my body, but stop with just head? There'll be times in my life I hang on by a thread? Wake up countless mornings filled with nothing but dread? He blew me just once, but what blows my mind? That night never ends, it haunts me over time. First it was months, then it was years. Now it's been decades and it still gives me fear. Fear to move forward, fear of success, fear to be intimate, fear to express. I fear my own authenticity, take a road to simplicity, fail to see your complicity in setting me up as that predator's prey. Enough is enough. I've let one night define me for way far too long. No span of time rights that predator's wrong. If I let myself go there, it's that old siren song that holds me back. Back to that day, back to that night, back to that choice. Do I fight or flight? I didn't do either. Just let him go down on me hard, down on my life. It's been 44 years and it's still causing strife. Still gives me nightmares, still makes me shiver. Sometimes I just want to drink, but I got a bad liver. That night still defines me, upends me, reminds me, because I let it. Because I fucking let it! Life is more, and 44 is too many years lost, too high of a cost, and brain cells and hours. It's time to stop giving that evil creep power. I'm gonna roar, not stand back and cower. You'll roar, makes you wonder, what does that mean? I confess, I was raped at the age of 13. In front of this crowd, I shouted out loud, still standing proud, my dark secret avowed. It wasn't my choice, because predators prey. I'll no longer keep quiet until all predators pay.
Okay, and next we have Mike, and after Mike, Leah.
Hey, it's called Fish and Loaves. One for you, and one for you. But what if you're in line when the resources are through? Fish and loaves, a real neat trick, but not something we can do. The boats are full, the seas are rough, the water's rushing in. To keep them out, to let them in, which one would be a sin? Balance your resources. It's your responsibility. But being rich, we give away our wealth as if it's free. Save a kid, save a whale. But little do you know, you've got that whale by the tail. Aid only means that the numbers will go up. Soon, 10 billion sunken eyes staring at our empty cup. How is that humane? That's not even sane. We're flunking our course in a simple numbers game.
Okay, next up is Leah, followed by Jim B.
Okay, so here's a poem I wrote and then turned around and said, yes, I am a cisgender heterosexual male. Here we go. I have the sexual fantasies of a buckle-shoed virginal pastor's daughter, wearing a shin-length floral pattern dress at the church sock hop, and a semi-impressionistic soft pastel painting of a country town in 1920s Middle America. I want a girlfriend I can cuddle under blankets, looking out a rainy window during a thunderstorm, with the dusk barely visible through the clouds over mountains in the distance, sipping knockoff hot toddies I made with off-brand Winco French vanilla coffee creamer, decaf chai tea, and Barton's plastic bottle vodka. Spooning while we trade progressively more personal secrets, whispering softly and telling the other everything's all right, and stroking their arm gently if they start to cry or feel ashamed, with Gregory Alan Isakov and Ben Gibbard playing in the background on a vinyl. I want to trade bodies with a girlfriend Freaky Friday style so we can swap fuck, because we know we've all thought about it. And if you don't admit it sounds hot, then you have no imagination, but I love you anyway. So she and I, or now he and I, can grow our empathy by feeling the way variances in chemical makeup between a male and female body influence the personalities we bring over, because it's a wonderful celebration to say that the fluids that course us give us different shapes, and those shapes are all wonderful. So I can understand what it means to say that period cramps are as painful as a heart attack, according to University College London. Sorry, ladies. So I can understand the letting go of a part of your own body every single month in blood and pain, and twist and writhe, all to be a potential vessel for the continuity of the species without your consent. So I can understand the isolation of a bodily function half the population can't or won't talk about, because we're children and worse, we're never taught. So I can understand the insanity that period products aren't tax-free like groceries when I look at the tags in the store aisle, thinking of my bank account and the rent and the food in the fridge instead of as a way to virtue signal. I want to feel a lover inside myself, pulsing like a heartbeat when my breath sinks to it, and he into me, so I can learn a realer meaning of vulnerability. Find ache, that good kind, like when you dream of watching them leave, but then you wake and they're still here with you in the sheets with you. I want to feel a being turned to kind of inside out, kind of taking off a last skin. I want to understand what it means to get fucked so good you can't walk properly next day. I want to understand what it feels like to look up at someone you're happy to have completely surrendered yourself to. And I can't. Not this time, anyway. Next time I'm promised, or whispers of it in the fabric of things. I plan to hold them to it. I once saw an Instagram post from a woman admitting she spends, in her own words, way too much time looking at other girls on Instagram. She goes on to say, I don't know whether I want to fuck you or be you, so can I just fucking stare at you until I figure it out? And I gotta say, maybe I'm naive, but sister, I fucking feel that. Thank you.
Okay, next up is Jim.
And now for something completely different. This is called Adversity, Equality, and Intrusion. Brown, black, white, I don't care. I do not regard them as equals, and I have not been kind in response to intrusion. I admit to being unfair. And I know it's probably impossible to reduce them to extinction. Knowing these things and knowing what I know about hate includes knowing that the roots of hate are planted firmly in fear. And when you hate rats as much as I hate rats, knowing that my hate is rooted in fear, as soon as I see those little Tootsie Rolls in my house on the shelf or on the floor, the thought of rats in my space makes me feel like pulling out the roots of what's left of my hair. I become irrational. Crawling through sewers, spreading disease, the thought alone makes me queasy. Sneaky, smart, extremely fast, I wish my fear of rats was part of my past. Running around at night inside the walls, they eat whatever they find from aluminum foil to stinky mothballs. Kill them with poison or glue when they get fatally sick or they die flailing and stuck. After the panicky squeaking and squealing, you have to carry them out to the trash to be carried further away by whoever happens to be driving the big garbage truck. A spring-loaded trap can dispatch them quickly and splatter their guts. But last week, at my house, One rat's hind leg was the only thing caught when the trap snapped shut. Just the back hind leg. I thought about finishing him off with a rock or a brick, but I decided to be nice instead of deranged. It was as if something inside me had changed. I went to my neighbor and bought some cocaine. She's a dentist. I made a diluted solution, soaked one end of a Q-tip, duct taped to a yardstick. I let the rat lick the cotton for a minute or so. Then I used the other end of the yardstick where I duct taped a dart, and I know this doesn't exactly qualify as quality art, but I stabbed the chemically compromised creature enough times to make him a movie star in a Walking Dead feature. He no longer steals my ranch-flavored Doritos. He no longer eats my chili cheese Fritos, and no bubonic plague infects my flaming hot Cheetos. If heaven and hell exist for the rats, I hope they're outnumbered by big, hungry cats.
Thank you, Jim. Next is Margot.
Skinny dipping. Giggles shared in inky warm water when June has just barely cracked open. Inside of it, the yellow yolk of summer, the sweet richness of living in the in-between. We are girls, forgive me, women, really girls who were made to grow up too quickly. Lately, my skinny summers feel more grounded in dream than reality. I often reach for those memories, but more often than not come up empty. I look at my friends and notice that our cheeks are flushed perfectly, humanly pink from the wine that was forbidden from us for so long. We appreciate the taste and revel in the heat both inside and outside of our bodies. We are not ashamed of our nakedness, and we swim and race one another, laughing like the children we remember once being. When I was a little girl, I believed in mermaids. I still do, if you ask me, when the light hits the water just right and I can coax a kernel of magic out of life, something I find harder to do with each passing day. But now, looking at my friends as water droplets fall from their hair like iridescent pearls, it is easy to believe in mermaids again, so I do. What I think I'm trying to say is that I'm always going to be caught in the in-between. One foot dangling in the pool of my childhood, the other planted firmly on the ground of adulthood, always searching for a trace of magic in my life while convincing myself that I should know better. I don't know what version of myself to believe in, but right now, in this pool of moonlight and found family, I know I believe in warm Junes and summers that leave you breathless. I believe life has always been about being caught in the in-between, and that it can be so beautiful if you choose to look at it that way. And what is magic if not that? Choosing to believe in it despite knowing, despite growing up, remembering that the magic existed because you believed in it, and being brave enough to once again say, yes, I am here right now, I see it, and I do believe, but most importantly, for the first time, I finally believe in me. Thank you.
And next up is Gail, and following Gail will be B. Daniel March.
Okay, life in the ice cream truck. We girls can hear it coming from a block away. The silly song the ice cream man plays, announcing his arrival. The truck is like a demon coming down the street. The driver waving us over. Come try a little, no harm. We eat from the ice cream man truck's delights. What will happen to our hips, our thighs, our image, they ask? What will the others whisper behind our backs? Oh, look how enormous those girls have gotten. The ice cream truck is tormenting sounds call to us, tempting us to pick a flavor. Once again, our wretched demons win the battle. We walk away, secretly saying to ourselves, one day we will eat from the ice cream man's truck. That is life with the ice cream man.
Okay, next we have B. Daniel March.
This is entitled Homeless Haven. Everyone is homeless in heaven. Every spirit has not to sprint, running to catch up. No entry price to worry about. No materialistic haven. In and out of universal doors, infinite, where shelters lack roofing, no dilapidated shacks, where only matter shields every identity's existence. No aesthetic nightmare, no congregational attire, a state of flightless logic, where darkness abounds, emptiness of space round and round. This hereafter life, ever present, where all homeless havens abound, gravity-free and enlightened. Thank you.
We have one more poet in the second round, and that's Baz McIntosh.
So my wife was a school nurse for many years, and after trying to protect one of her students, she was sued. When she was finally exonerated, I wrote this song for her. We live in freedom by the rule of the law. Sometimes it'll hang you. Sometimes it's just to settle a score. Sometimes it's a pisser, sometimes it's a pain. Sometimes when it works, our belief is regained. Sometimes we don't give it much credit, sometimes we complain all the time. Sometimes we can't see its fairness, sometimes we're just too blind. But occasionally it works, and that occasion was today. Even when it gets dark, you know it'll end up okay. We know every cloud has a silver lining, and the darkest hour is just before dawn, but it's tough to see that when you're in the eye of the storm. But today it worked. Love overcame evil. Today it worked, and the weak became strong. Today it worked, and the heart won out. Today it worked, and right conquered wrong. You do your work and you do what you have to do. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it'll bury you. It doesn't always happen, and it's not always written this way, but occasionally it works, and that occasion was today. It's hard to stay upright when the shit's rolling your way. It's hard to look upward when it's up to your eyes. It's hard to stay loving when all around you are hating, and we must stay strong, if only to show others that it'll get better before too long. Today it worked, love overcame evil. Today it worked, and the weak became strong. Yeah, today it worked, the heart won out, and today it worked, and right conquered wrong.
First up will be Brad, then Alicia, then Mike.
A poet friend and I heard the line, "scalding pools of liquid lust," at a poetry reading, and she challenged me to write a deliberately bad poem, including that line and other horrible figures of speech. Here's the result. It's called Pools. One sunny day, as Bob lay on his beach towel, a girl of 23 emerged from the sea, which is like a big swimming pool, only without the cement, chlorine, and steps. She wore a bikini so small, it looked like it had been made from one of those paper towels that is half normal size. In this space, her aura was so great, it was as if a glowing white angel got on a bus from Newark to Cleveland. Because of her essence, Bob sensed her presence, even though he'd been kind of sleeping, like when you first wake up and you're not sure if you're dreaming or not. From his beach bed, Bob raised his head like a turtle looking out of its shell. Except it was the other way, because Bob was on his back, not on his feet like a turtle normally is. When Bob saw this approaching prize, the vitreous substance in his eyes, which normally had the consistency of yellow lemon jello, melted into scalding pools of liquid lust. The girl arrived at his location, which increased Bob's fixation and temptation, caused genital inflation, and encouraged flirtation with the hope of copulation. This, of course, risked frustration and emotional castration. even litigation and incarceration, but with the potential for eventual rehabilitation, probation, and salvation. Like Cupid selecting his favorite pink arrow from the tiny quiver on his back, Bob went to his memory bank, which was actually about the quality of one of those failed financial institutions that needs government bailout. Withdrew his best pickup line and said to the girl, "I love you, no shit." Standing there at his side, the girl shook her hair left and right, flinging countless drops of salty water onto Bob's belly, where they immediately, due to gravity, flowed down into his navel and mixed with the lint already there. Then she turned, leaving Bob spurned, and ran away, as if a dog suddenly saw a red frisbee thrown through the air, although dogs can't see color, kicking sand in with the lint and seawater, forming a dull, muddy, gray pool of cold, silent rejection.
And next finalist to read is going to be Alicia.
Time is passing, passing, passing. So slowly, I think I can watch the growing grass. And I wonder, what does it mean to pass? Time is passing, passing, passing. For years I've passed time, day by day, too much work and not much play, passing months, passing hours, feeling listless, unempowered. Pessimism made me sour, eschewing sunsets and fragrant flowers. All this privilege, yet often mad, income and assets don't stave off sad. Not depressed, but feeling drab. And all along, time is passing, passing, passing. I've lived my whole life as one big lie. I was always a girl, but presented as a guy. Now I'm ready to come out. In fact, I'm ready to shout, I'm a beautiful, vibrant woman. Yet as I walk about, others make me doubt if I'm passing, passing, passing. You're a girl with a beard, isn't that kind of weird? Your voice is a bass, doesn't match your made-up face. Your boobs are fake, you've got no hips, and without Botox in your lips, how can you be passing, passing, passing? My brothers and sisters, does passing mean perfection? Because after reflection, I see an infection caused by the intersection of cishet norms and cultural storms once the toxin forms in our brains that we are not good enough. If I feel I can't pass, it starts a tailspin and I box myself in to a standard of thin and unblemished skin, only wearing what's in with a plastered on grin. What if passing's a standard I can never attain? Is all this in vain? Am I relegated to the pain of living in the wrong body for several more years, compounding my fears that I will never live the life I was meant to have? No, hell no. It's me who dictates my best health. I decide if I'm clocked or stealth. I reclaim my mental health, play the best with the hand I'm dealt. Do I pass or double down? Fix on my wig and don a gown? Flip a smile from a frown, live it up, go out to town. But wait, herein lies my power, every minute, every hour. I'm 57, in my prime, my trans self redefined. As a woman, so divine, my love for self, so sublime, now internally aligned. Never again, just passing time. If I wait to be passing, I deny myself living the authentic life that I have the right to decide for myself. Yes, hell yes, I decide for myself and you for yourself, and we are our best selves, being heard, being seen as we are. Perfection not required. I don't have time for others to decide if I'm passing, because right now, I'm focused on living, living, living.
And finally, we have Mike, our final finalist.
It is called Man Thing. Here we go. You are a closet of fur coats. I want to sow my wild oats. You're the mother of the flock. I just want to dip my rooster. It's not out of the blue. It's evolutionarily true. The best thing for me ain't the best thing for you. Sure, I'd like a lot of kids, but I hope you'll bring them up. If my rambling on will bring them down, sorry, they're shoot out of luck. I am a man, and to go is in my veins. Can't let the wife and kids get hold of the reins. Is there cause for blame? Is there reason for shame? Or am I just a player in this evolutionary game? You clean the house, and I act the louse. But maybe it's not me to blame. Maybe it's that girls will be girls and men are all the same.
All right, folks. Are you ready for this? And the 3 winners get Surfing Madonna medals. Okay, you guys. I get to put them on. I am so excited.